Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my world here on the internet. I'm your host, Moises Beauchamp Jr., coming at you on this fine, wonderful Sunday, September 21st, 2022. This wonderful evening, coming at you with another one. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Like that, you are notified whenever we go live or upload. Once again, welcome to my world here on the internet. What's good, my good peoples? I'm your host, Moises Beauchamp Jr. Hit that like button as you're coming in. Hit that dislike button if you're not feeling what's going on here in Mo's world. Here we discuss breaking news, different topics on missing children, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Something like that true crime stuff that's going on nowadays on the internet. I guess that's what you could say that we do here at Moises Beauchamp Jr. on the YouTube channel. Today what we're talking about is freedom of speech, a crash course, government and politics. All right? And the reason why we're discussing freedom of speech is because here recently I was basically forced to take down a video that I commentated on and I had up on my channel. I was just merely asking a question. I'm not going to get into all the details because the person that I'm dealing with, you know what I'm saying, is real petty, and you know what I'm saying, I don't need no extra drama. You feel me? So therefore, I'm just gonna go ahead and share this video on freedom of speech, crash course, government, and politics. Real fast.
Hi, I'm Craig, and this is Crash Course Government
That's
and
Craig.
Politics. And today we're talking about free speech. Finally,
Shout out
today
to
we can
them
let loose and establish the kinds of
over
things we
there
say and
at
criticize our
Crash
government,
Course
like the crazy idea that
on
money
YouTube.
and speech are the same thing. Not
Go
so
check them
fast,
out.
Clone. The Supreme Court has ruled that spending money, at least in the political context, is speech. You do have the right to criticize that decision, though, unless your boss or YouTube says that you can't. All right, we're trying to talk about free speech. Shut up. Let's get started and see if we can figure out what the limits of free speech are, assuming that there are some. There aren't. That's a lie. But I'm free to say that. There are two really important things to remember about the First Amendment protection of free speech. The primary reason to have freedom of speech is to allow for public criticism of the stupid government. Stupid government. That's the sort of thing that can land you in jail in countries that don't have strong free speech protections. Or should I say, you would be Putin jail. Don't put me in jail. Oh, that's right, I'm in the US, it doesn't matter. The stories of oversensitive kings and dictators silencing people who question their rule or even make jokes at their expense are too numerous to recount. But for the most part, that kind of thing doesn't happen in the US, which is why no one gets arrested for carrying around a giant picture of Obama as Hitler, or former President Bush as a monkey. Well, that stuff's okay as far as the First Amendment is concerned, but that doesn't mean it's respectful or in good taste. The second thing to remember is that the First Amendment protects you from the government doing things that try to deny your speech, but not anyone else. What this means is that you don't have an absolute right to say whatever you want, wherever you want, to whomever you want, and not suffer any consequences. Isn't that right, Stan, you dingus? I'm fired? I was just kidding, it was a joke. If you work for a private company, your boss can certainly fire you for saying mean things about them or revealing company secrets, and you don't have any First Amendment claim against them. Unless, of course, your boss is the government or a branch of the government, in which case you might be able to claim a First Amendment right. See, like most things, it's complicated. Among the speech that is protected, not all of it has the same level of protection under the First Amendment. Now let's exercise our right to free thought bubble. The speech that gets the strongest protection is political speech. Criticism of
See, this certain person that I'm dealing with, they're neither the government nor a boss of mine. So therefore, I believe that I am in every right to my right of speech. But let's continue.
but also praise for particular officials, their parties, or their policies is usually protected. It's given what is called preferred position, which means that any law or regulation or executive act that limits political speech is almost always struck down by courts. The big case that made pretty much the final decision on political speech was Brandenburg versus Ohio in 1968. In this case, a Ku Klux Klan leader was making a speech that, as you can imagine, was offensive to a lot of people and could have been considered threatening too. The court ruled that because the speech was political, it was protected by the First Amendment, no matter how outrageous it was. The court said, "The constitutional guarantees of free speech and free press do not permit a state to forbid or prescribe advocacy of the use of force or of law violation, except where such advocacy is directed to inciting or producing imminent action and is likely to produce such action." According to the court, the First Amendment protects speech even if it advocates the use of force or encourages people to violate the law. So you can advocate overthrowing the government or not paying your taxes as much as you want, unless what you say is likely to produce the thing you're advocating, overthrowing the government, say. And it is likely to happen imminently, meaning very soon after you make the statement. This case limited an older standard regarding free speech that was put forward in the case U.S. versus Schenck in 1917. In that case, Schenck distributed pamphlets urging people to avoid the draft for World War I. This was a violation of the Espionage Act, which made it a crime to obstruct the draft or the war effort. The law was more complicated than that, but that's the basic gist. In his decision on this case, Oliver Wendell Holmes wrote that when that speech presents a clear and present danger, the state can then abridge that person's speech. Memorably, he explained that the First Amendment does not protect a person who shouts fire in a crowded theater. In later cases, Holmes limited this idea, largely because it gives the government a lot of leeway to say what kind of speech creates danger, especially during a war, as was the case with Schenck. Thanks, Thought Bubble. Political speech isn't the only type of speech that the courts have addressed. Symbolic speech can also be protected by the First Amendment, and if that symbolic speech has political content, it usually is protected. Symbolic speech includes wearing armbands, carrying signs, or even wearing a jacket with an obscene word directed at the military draft. Symbolic speech also includes burning an American flag, which pretty much is always a political message. Not all symbolic speech is protected, though. For example, if you're a high school student who holds up a banner that reads "Bong hits for Jesus" at a school-sponsored function, don't expect that the First Amendment will prevent the school, a government agent, from suspending you. And yes, that really happened. Also, this is not symbolic speech. That's violence. Even hate speech is protected, even if it's really hateful, like burning a cross on a person's lawn, although this might be prosecuted as vandalism or trespassing. Public universities that try to punish hate speech have seen their discipline codes struck down. Commercial speech may not be protected, but if it's a political commercial, it will be. And as we've pointed out before, spending money on political campaigns has been determined to be speech that is protected by the First Amendment. Although we shall see donations to political campaigns are still treated differently, at least for now. Pretty much the only kind of speech that's not protected, other than speech that's likely to incite immediate violence, is what's called fightin' words. In the actual case that dealt with fighting words, Chaplinsky versus New Hampshire, the defendant uttered what seemed more like insults than a call to engage in fisticuffs. "What'd you call me?" Still, the court ruled that some words were so insulting that they were more than likely to result in a fight, so fighting words are not protected speech. One thing to note, though, the fighting words free speech exception is almost never used. So as you can see, the First Amendment pretty much protects you from the government throwing you in jail or otherwise punishing you for what you say in most instances. But it's important to remember that the First Amendment is not unlimited. Most important, it only protects you from government action, not the action of private people, especially your employers. One final example might make this clear. In Pickering versus Board of Education, a public school teacher wrote a letter to the editor of his local paper complaining about the way that the school board was spending money on the schools. He didn't write it on school time or using school paper or email, especially since it was 1968 and there was no email. The school board, or his principal, fired him. He brought the case to the Supreme Court, claiming that he was fired for his speech, which was political in nature, criticizing local government, and not for anything related to his job performance. And he won. But the only reason he was able to get his job back is that his employer was the government, so it was the government that punished him for speaking out. For most of us, complaining about our employer's policies may get us fired, and unless we are government employees, we can't claim that it violated our First Amendment rights. The First Amendment, like all of the amendments, is meant to protect us from an overreaching government. There are other types of laws that help us deal with individuals who do things that we think are wrong, but we'll talk about those in another episode. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Third eagle punch in the video. Is that too much? It doesn't matter. I'm free to do it. Crash Course Government and Politics is produced in association with PBS Digital Studios. Support for Crash Course U.S. Government comes from Vocal. Vocal supports nonprofits and technology to advance social equity.
Good looking
Learn more about their mission and initiatives at vocal.org.
Crash Course
Crash Course was made with the help of all of these free speakers.
for that video. Go check them out. Subscribe to their channel. Check out what they got going on over there at their world over there on YouTube. But yeah, I just wanted to basically just just bring that to the people's attention that if people put certain things up on the internet, you gotta remember that that's a public domain that you are posting this stuff. So therefore, once it's up on the internet, it's subject to criticism. You feel me? People are entitled to voice their opinion on the content that you post on the internet. But that's neither here nor there. Long and short of it is that if I wanted to, I could have disputed the whole situation, but in my opinion, it's a waste of time. Time is money. Therefore, I didn't feel like going through all the nuances of the, of that situation. I had a strike on my channel, and not because of that video. It was actually a political video where, I had an opinion on something politically wise, something dealing with the previous president of the United States. I'm scared to even say his name because I might mess around and get a strike on this video for mentioning his name, because how hated he is on on these types of platforms. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that to the attention of the people. That's all I really gotta say on that matter. We got the freedom of speech, but it's different things and different ways to do things. You understand what I'm saying? You can't just wild out and just be saying any old thing. But yeah, that's my spill. I finally just got back into my channel. Thank you, Jesus. It said that I wasn't eligible to get back into December something, but for some odd reason it let me in. I put in put in an appeal. I didn't win the appeal, but I did get access to my channel, so that's a good thing. So that certain video that was in question, I did made it unpublic. Therefore, it can't be searched or just viewed. So yeah, that's that on that. So with that said, my good peoples, I was just excited to get back on the tube. Looking forward to coming back on here and do a live stream soon with my co-host. I gotta get up with my co-host and put something together. It's long overdue. So with that, my good peoples, I'm gonna let y'all get on with the rest of your evening. Make it a wonderful one. Like I said, it's a wet, beautiful Sunday evening. Enjoy it with those who you love. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my evening. One love, my good peoples. Catch y'all on the next one. As always, you already know. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Hit the notification bell. You feel me? That way you are notified, and it also helps out with the algorithm. You feel me? It gets noticed more in the search engines and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's important for y'all to hit that like button and so on and so forth. And let's talk about it in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? Give me some ideas and whatnot. So with that, my good peoples, leave y'all with this quick word sponsor. Like, share, subscribe. Catch y'all on the next one. One love. Peace.